I'd now like to introduce our keynote address. This year's address is delivered by Leo Varadkar TD on Tánaiste, the Minister for Enterprise, Trade and
IrBEA. Good morning to you all.
I'm grateful to everyone in the Irish Bioenergy Association for the invitation to join you to open your first national conference since the onset of COVID-19. Thank you to Sean and Teresa for enabling me to address you remotely. I will be there in person, but I have to be present for a cabinet meeting this morning in Dublin, and I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. Today, the challenges of rising prices, security of energy supply, and the imperative to reduce emissions requires us to expedite our efforts to move to renewable energy. Ireland needs every renewable energy technology available, and bioenergy has a strong role to play in this. I understand that businesses have endured some very difficult years with Brexit, the restrictions related to the pandemic, and now, of course, inflation, particularly when it comes to energy costs. But I think it's fair to say that the government has not been found wanting when it's come to helping businesses get through difficult periods, whether it was the wage subsidy scheme to help businesses keep their staff on, the COVID restriction support scheme which helped with overheads, and the new small company administrative rescue process that allows businesses to restructure and survive. While many businesses are struggling, I think it's fair to point that very many are doing well, and that's evidenced by the fact that there are now 2.55 million people at work in Ireland, more than ever before, and 2/3 of those working for SMEs. While weaning ourselves off coal, oil and gas is a global challenge, it also presents an incredible opportunity for Ireland to reposition ourselves from importing most of our energy to becoming an energy exporter within a generation. I was interested to learn from Sean that worldwide bioenergy represents 62% of all renewable energy, showing the potential in Ireland to do much of the heavy lifting in meeting our renewable energy and climate action targets. Nonetheless, I understand that bioenergy, covering a broad spectrum of technology types, input materials and products, can possibly be a challenge to communicate to government. Bioenergy cuts across a number of areas of policy responsibility. As Taoiseach, I launched Ireland's first national statement on the bioeconomy in 2018. In it we said that the bioeconomy and bioenergy require policy coherence across a range of government departments, state agencies and public bodies. So the government values the role that you play in administering the Wood Fuel Quality Assurance Scheme on behalf of the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine. It's important as we go into the winter that wood fuel suppliers and consumers know that the WFQA mark indicates wood fuel that meets high air quality, sustainability and fuel quality standards. It's also an indicator of indigenously produced fuels that support local businesses and their workers and contractors. Expediting the deployment of existing renewable energy technologies demands our attention in this context, and also in the context of climate change. I believe in a few decades that we can go from being an energy importer to being an energy exporter with all the benefits that come with it. Greater energy security, price stability, more employment and regional development. Every renewable energy technology, including bioenergy, has a role to play in this transformation. One of the areas where we're already helping and where we can help more is helping businesses to reduce the amount of energy that they use and to make energy savings. There are actually 20 different schemes that businesses can apply for to get help from the government to carry out an energy audit or to get grants for the installation of equipment such as solar panels, insulation and microgeneration. Of particular importance for the bioenergy sector is the support scheme for renewable heat, administered by SEAI, which was launched by my colleague, the then Minister Richard Bruton. Schemes and incentives like that are really important because it might be the case that we're not just experiencing an energy price shock, it could be an energy price shift. While energy prices might fall back, they might also remain at a higher level permanently, a shock followed by a shift. The best response to this is a long-term one, reducing the amount of energy we use and increasing the amount of renewable energy that we produce. I want businesses to become more aware of those schemes, such as the SSRH, for example, and I also want to improve them. We must be the generation that turns the tide on climate change and biodiversity loss. And we must be the generation that begins to pivot Ireland from fossil fuel dependency to being a renewable energy leader. We need to take better care of our planet, and this generation should aim to pass it on to the next in a better condition than we inherited it. Bioenergy, I believe, has a big part to play in this. The circular economy, environmental protection of air, soil and water, biodiversity, de-risking energy supply for businesses, and creating sustainable local enterprise and jobs. The focus of the government is on reducing costs, carbon and securing energy supply for businesses and families. We're backing business and we want to put more money in your pocket. So I wish today's speakers well, and I hope you'll have a very valuable exchange of information, insights and ideas. And I'm sure it'll also be a good networking opportunity too. I'm always open to receiving your views and contributions to policy development and debate in Ireland. Gynari Galib Leis an Lá, Gurv Míle Mágaibh, Slán go Fóill.
Thanks very much to on Tánaiste Leo Varadkar for recording that address, and he is apologetic that he couldn't make it in person this morning due to a cabinet meeting, but we have this planned for a number of weeks, and we're grateful for him to taking the time to record the video, and also for that of his team, Breed and Max, for their work in organising that for us. So thanks very much to the Tánaiste for that.